doing well. It is Friday, March. Oh, what day is it? Is it the 5th? No, it's the 6th. Sorry, March 6th, 2026. And welcome to Last Days, Dark Ways, Sunlight Rays. This is our Friday night prophetic live stream where I share all things pertaining to these last days. I am doing a teaching, and I've titled this 7 Stars in a Blood Moon because it sounded nice. Y'all, I'm getting into so much, and the Lord is I'm just getting fresh revelation as I'm in the Word, and kind of a lot of this is a reminder of previous studies that I've done, but it is definitely fresh in relation to where we are now in time and where we are headed. So, fair warning, this is heavy. Okay, this is not a light teaching. In fact, every time I share on prophetic things, there's a part of me that is just, I feel the weight of it because I understand that this is serious, that this is very important, and so I want to deliver this in a way that is true to what I'm being shown, and at the same time hopeful, because it is very heavy. So fair warning, if you're not in the mood to listen to a heavy teaching, I would save this for another time. But if you're ready, then I'm going to get into this. And welcome everybody. Good to see you. Who's there? Oh, hi. Oh, well, hello. And I'm sorry if I am tardy, if you had to leave, but thank you for saying hello. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you again. But yeah, this study's a little bit heavy. I keep saying that word heavy. That's actually a song message. So last week, I got into kind of all these puzzle pieces of connecting the March 3rd blood moon to and the February 28th planetary alignment, which, by the way, these planetary alignments happen frequently enough, but because of the time frame, because of the dates, because of the times that we're in, these are a little more significant, which is why I'm teaching on them and sharing on them. I told you that this blood moon that we had on March 3rd was actually the only one we're going to have until, I believe it's the end of 2028 or 2029 actually is the next one. And then I shared on the tetrad, which is basically 4 blood moons in a year's time frame. The last one we had was 2014 and into 2015. And the next one is not until 2032 to 2033, which is a little bit a ways from us. But all of these are significant and important to pay attention to, because the Lord shows us signs in the heavens for a reason. And I'm going to get into these scriptures for a little bit. So this is where I want to start, is these scriptures that remind us about the signs in the heavens, okay? And then I'm going to get into a little bit about what is going on in the world, why it feels different, because it does, because it's significant, because of the times that we're in. So, and also, before we end, I do want to share a prayer for us. I want to be very sensitive because, you know, we're all coming from different spaces and places, and I want to share that it's very important that that we take some time to really receive this the way the Lord wants us to receive it. And then also, what is it that he's asking us to do with these revelations and these understandings that we're receiving? Because it's not just random that I'm sharing this. This is for a reason. Okay, so let's begin. I'm going to begin, and I feel like this is a good place for you to begin if you're new to understanding sort of prophetic end times um, teaching or studying or prophecy, or maybe you're intrigued by this and you want to learn a little bit more. I recommend starting with these three chapters. This is Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13, and these are found in the New Testament. These are different accounts of the same prophecy, which I believe we are absolutely in the time frame of this. And it kind of gives us a little bit of insight into timetables and sequence of events that helps us understand better where we are in time. So let's begin with Matthew 24. By the way, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Because of what I'm sharing, y'all, I am a little bit more kind of pulled into to the message and the scriptures, because I am delivering something that is weighty and significant, and I take it very seriously. I also pray that as you receive it with discernment, you receive it with prayer, you receive it in a spirit of humility, and ask the Lord, what is it that you are showing me? How does this connect to me? How does this connect to where I'm at? You know, my sphere of influence, the people that I'm connected to, because this is very significant. We are all, this is YouTube, so everyone's tuning in from different parts of the world. So I do take that to heart, and I take that seriously. So yeah, let's start with Matthew 24. And this is found in the New Testament. It's actually the beginning of the New Testament. So we're going to read verses okay. I might jump back to that in a minute, but to get us started, I'm just going to read the first passage. So Matthew 24, verse 3. This subheading says, Signs of the End of the Age. As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when will these things be, and what will be the sign of your coming, and of the end of the age? And Jesus answered them, See that no one leads you astray. For many will come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are but the beginning of the birth pains. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and put you to death, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many will fall away and betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Okay, so this is Jesus' words. This is a paraphrase of the sequence of events that we are literally in the midst of. But I'm going to jump down to verse 29, because this is kind of where I wanted to start. Hi, everybody. Welcome in the chat. Good to see y'all. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay, so what I want to highlight here is the first verse. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, and those days being what we just read previously, there's actually more, and I encourage you to read it so you can keep it all in context. The sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. Okay, so the sun darkened is a solar eclipse, which we've seen. These have actually been more frequent in recent decades, I would say. And the moon not giving its light is, of course, a lunar eclipse. However, this specific event is different that he's speaking about. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. And the stars will fall from heaven. Okay, now in Scripture, the stars, there are verses where the stars are actually the stars that we see. And there's other scriptures that the stars are actually the planets. Okay, so this is important to understand. And the heavens, the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Okay, heavens. Notice it says heavens, plural, because there are multiple heavens. And I've shared this in other teachings that I've done. But we have, the first heaven is the sky. Okay, this is, our atmosphere, the first layer. Okay. The second heaven is outer space. Okay, so that's where the galaxies are, the planets, everything there. And then the third heaven is capital H heaven, where the Lord is seated at the right hand of God. Okay, let's move on because I have a lot to share, you guys. So, I'm actually going to skip Mark 13, but Mark 13 is another account of the same text that I'm reading. And I do want to get to Luke 21 because it does share a little bit more. And this is Luke 21, verse 25. And there will be signs in the moon, or in the sun and moon and stars. And on the earth distress of nations, in perplexity because of the roaring of the sea and the waves. People fainting with fear and with foreboding of what is coming on the world. That's heavy. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now, when these things begin to happen, straighten up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. Okay, so there will be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. Okay, signs. Again, this blood moon on March 3rd was a sign in the heavens to signal judgment, to signal something significant is happening and coming. There's also a connection I think I shared with the Jewish calendar. There was a correlation there. And then also I've been sharing how the next 3 years are significant for massive shift and change. And this is not just in the States, this is globally. So it's very important to pay attention to this. So this context talks about the perplexity of nations, or distress of nations in perplexity because of the roaring of the sea and the waves. Okay. You guys, I will get into this. I'm not going to camp too much here, but I will get into this. We're talking about a serious cataclysmic event on earth where the sea is coming onto the land and literally like a tsunami, and probably a tsunami. So this is significant to pay attention to, okay? And I'm going to get into this later when I talk more about some of the earth realm, some of the things that have already happened and some of the things that are coming. But I want to stick to the heavens because that's what we're talking about tonight. So let's go to Joel. Yes. So Joel chapter 1. This is another scripture. I actually shared on this about 12 years ago. And I'll never forget it because when I was reading and this was maybe about a year or two when I started kind of studying, I'll never forget how I felt when I was studying this and the urgency I felt in my spirit. And at the time I was connected to a church, and I shared how I felt this was pertinent to the church being prepared. And when I say church, I mean those who belong to the King of Kings. Because church is a whole different discussion. And I'm not going to get into it tonight. Where is Joel? I was looking for Joel earlier and I forgot where he was, but because it's literally been quite a while since I studied the book of Joel. So bear with me as I'm turning there. And if you have anything to share, I welcome you to connect with me and talk about it. There it is. Okay, Joel. You guys, there's so much. Like, I want to read all of this, but we don't have, unlimited amount of time. But I'm probably going to get into the book of Joel a little bit more later. But what I'm being highlighted specifically is connected to these signs in the heavens. So that's what I'm going to read. Give me one sec, because I'm deciding. Yeah, so it's going to be actually chapter 2. It's the day of the Lord. This is the subheading here. The day of the Lord. Now, here's what I want to say before I get to this. The day of the Lord is, and I've shared this forever, it's a multifaceted event leading up to the return of Christ. Okay? How long of time? I don't know. Only the Lord knows. But he gives us signs to know we're getting closer. So, chapter 2 of Joel. Blow a trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm on my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming, it is near. A day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Like blackness there is upon the mountains, and a great and powerful people. There, like has never been before, nor will be again after them through the years of all generations. Okay, let's stop there because that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to take in. When I read this, I see a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness. To me, that sounds, there's a couple of things that are coming to mind. To me, that sounds like a volcanic winter. But then it says, like blackness there is spread upon the mountains. A great and powerful people there, like has never been before, nor will be again after them through the years of all generations. Again, this is a time that, again, this is prophetic. So this is a time that we are entering where it is going to be people, now remember this, especially these days that we're in with transhumanism being almost commonplace, normal, whatever you want to call it. Well, it's not, but we are being, how do I want to say this? We are being prepared to accept it as the norm. This whole AI thing, you guys, if you guys are immersed in this, I caution you to unplug yourself from it. This is bigger than it's convenient, it's easy, it's, you know, look how cool I look in AI version, whatever it is that is grasping your attention. This is bigger than this, okay? We're talking about humans not being 100% human anymore. And this is dangerous territory. So I urge you to take what I'm saying and discern for yourself. Fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, but behind them a desolate wilderness, and nothing escapes them. Their appearance is like the appearance of horses, and like war horses they run. As with the rumbling of chariots, they leap on the top of mountains, like the crackling of a flame of fire devouring the stubble, like a powerful army drawn up for battle. Before them peoples are in anguish, all faces grow pale, like warriors they charge, like soldiers they scale the wall, they march each on his way, they do not swerve from their paths, they do not jostle one another, each marches in his path. They burst through the weapons and are not halted. They leap upon the city and they run upon the walls. They climb upon the houses. They enter through the windows like a thief. The earth quakes before them. The heavens tremble. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. The Lord utters his voice before his army. For his camp is exceedingly great. He who executes his word is powerful. For the day of the Lord is great and very awesome. Who can endure it? Okay, so which is the next one that I wanted to read? Isaiah 24. Do I want to go there? No, let me go to Revelation first, and then I think I'm going to camp out in Isaiah 24. Revelation 6. Chapter 12. By the way, all of these that I'm reading, some of them are intersecting in timelines, and others are either way later or slightly before. So bear this in mind. And I know it kind of feels choppy because I feel like I'm still laying the foundation of what I am being shown and what I'm sharing. So do bear with. Okay, this is Revelation 6, 12 through 14. By the way, Revelation 6 is talking about the 7 seals. This is too great for us to understand. And honestly, you can only discern these things through the Spirit. Okay? So if it sounds like gibberish, it's a matter of I need to dig deeper into my spiritual mind and understand what the Lord is revealing to us, because these are puzzle pieces helping us kind of gain more insight about what is happening right now. When he opened the 6th seal, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, the moon full became like blood, and the stars of the sky fell to the earth, as the fig tree sheds its winter fruit when shaken by a gale. The sky vanished like a scroll that is being rolled up, and every mountain and island was removed from its place. Then the kings of the earth and the great ones and the generals and the rich and the powerful and everyone slave and free hid themselves in the caves and the rocks among the mountains, calling to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who is seated on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of the wrath has come, and who can stand? Okay, so obviously this is much later when this will happen. But again, these signs in the heavens are signifiers of the coming judgment of the Lord. Okay. Now, I'm going to come here for a minute, and actually I think I linked it already to this video. I taught on the pole shift about 3 years ago. I think it was 2022. The pole shift that is imminent in our planet, you guys. This has everything to do with what I'm sharing and what I'm talking about. You have to remember there's so many components to everything that's happening, okay? For a lot of us, we just see what's right in front of us. We just see kind of the earth-bound perspective, what's going on in politics, what's going on with religion, what's going on with, you know, the nations. Okay, this is one layer, and I'm going to get into this in a minute. And this is also a signifier of where we are, which is why I'm a lot of why I'm getting into this. Okay, so yes, this is important, and if this is your kind of your wheelhouse, you pay attention to politics, you pay attention to all these things, then you're probably very alert right now, because you can see it and you can sense that things are not the same, because they're not. Now, another area, and I personally pay a lot of attention to, and this is I pay attention to, and he has shown me that this whole shift that's happening is prophetic. And I'm going to read this right now. And I've read this before, so I encourage you to watch that video. I actually have other videos where I talk about kind of the signs in the heavens and how God is showing us through the natural creation that he gave us where we are in time. So this is Isaiah 24. Yeah, I'll share that in a minute, actually. I was going to share something, but I think I'll wait. Isaiah 24. By the way, how is your weekend beginning? How's everyone doing tonight? Hope you had a good first week of March. It's definitely been a lot. I feel like a lot's happened in March already. And we just started. So this is Isaiah chapter 24. Again, this is going to be closer to the end of all things, but this is going to happen. Okay? Again, this is a lot to take in, but I want to share this because I want you ready, which I've been sharing for years. I want us ready to handle it, ready to understand how to see the signs, how to interpret the signs through the Spirit, so that I can know what I'm called to do, where I'm at. Okay? Behold, the Lord will empty the earth and make it desolate, and he will twist its surface and scatter its inhabitants. By the way, let me preface with this. There will be a new earth. There will be a new earth. An earth that is beautiful, that is in all its glory, that is pure, that has no sin, it has no death, it has no decay, it has no evil. Okay? The one we live in is a broken, wretched earth. Okay? And unfortunately, we've all seen a lot, especially recently. But I want to encourage you that this sort of, what I'm about to read, the sort of cleansing of this old broken earth is to renew and bring us into a completion so that we can be in the new earth, okay? And this is life. This is life. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the slave, so with the master, as with the maid, so with the mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the creditor, so with the debtor. The earth shall be utterly empty and utterly plundered. For the Lord has spoken this word. The earth mourns and withers. The world languishes and withers. The highest people of the earth languish. The earth lies defiled under its inhabitants, for they have transgressed the laws, violated the statutes, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore a curse devours the earth, and its inhabitants suffer for their guilt. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are scorched, and few men are left. The wine mourns, the vine languishes, and all the merry-hearted sigh. The mirth of the tambourines is stilled. The noise of the jubilant has ceased. The mirth of the lyre is stilled. No more do they drink wine with singing. Strong drink is bitter for those who drink it. The wasted city is broken down. Every house is shut up so that none can enter. There is an outcry in the streets for lack of wine. All joy has grown dark. The gladness of the earth is banished. Desolation is left in the city. The gates are battered into ruins. For this it shall be in the midst of the earth among the nations. And when an olive tree is beaten, as at the gleaning when the grape harvest is done, they lift up their voices, they sing for joy over the majesty of the Lord, they shout from the west. Therefore in the east give glory to the Lord, in the coastlands of the sea give glory to the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. From the ends of the earth we hear songs of praise, of glory of the righteous one. But I say, I waste away, woe is me, for the traitors have betrayed. With betrayal the traitors have betrayed. Terror and the pit and the snare are upon you, O inhabitants of the earth. He who flees at the sound of the terror shall fall into the pit. He who climbs out of the pit shall be caught in the snare. For the windows of heaven are opened, and the foundations of the earth tremble. The earth is utterly broken. It is split apart. The earth is violently shaken. The earth staggers like a drunken man. It sways like a hut. Its transgression lies heavy upon it, and it falls and will not rise again. On that day the Lord, I will punish the host of heaven in heaven, and the kings of the earth on the earth. They will be gathered together in prisoners in a pit. They will be shut up in a prison, and after many days they will be punished. Then the moon will be confounded, and the sun ashamed, for the Lord of hosts reigns on Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and in his glory before the elders. Okay, so I'm taking us to Psalm 91 now because this is a promise for us. In spite of these things coming and happening, God has given us a promise. And I want you to take this with you. I've shared Psalm 91 so many times because I do feel it's a prayer. It's a prayer of refuge and protection. And I really feel like it's relating to the times that we're in. So here it is. Psalm 91. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. For he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness is a shield and buckler. You will not fear. You will not fear the terror of the night, or the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor the destruction that wastes at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge, no evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot. Because he holds fast to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Okay, so this is my encouragement. And honestly, it's about you coming forward for yourself. God revealed himself in ways our human finite understanding doesn't understand. God is always speaking to us. It is a matter of me being postured to receive what he's showing me, what he's telling me, and his bringing me to himself. Okay? And in these last days, it doesn't matter. My encouragement to you is